Ford in Australia has released its newest Falcon model range. Hot off the production line, the 8th edition of Ford's family car was rolled out at a glittering launch in Melbourne. It's hoped the all-new design will boost sales in the blue oval, with hundreds of millions of dollars poured into its development. There's particular pressure on this model to sell, with fears that Ford in Australia could follow Mitsubishi and close local production if it doesn't.
Today, we showcase a range of vehicles that prove that the Falcon name can stand for both the past and the present. A range of vehicles that can meet the needs of modern consumers.
The new Falcon will be available from May, but its price tag has yet to be made public. And now joining us on the line from Wheels magazine is editor Jed Bulmer. Well, Jed, you're at the launch today. What do you make of the new Falcon?
Look, from what we've seen of it, and bearing in mind that they have still kept a little bit of powder dry for the Melbourne Motor Show later this month, from what we've seen of it, it's a very impressive-looking package. They've obviously done a good deal of work on the safety package. They've improved their engines with more power and better fuel consumption, which is obviously crucial in this day and age. And critically, they've improved the cabin packaging, which was a bit of a problem with the old Falcon. Many people who've got into the back of a cab over the last 5 or 6 years would have probably hit their heads on the way in or out, and that's been improved, along with many other areas of improvement. Would you go so far as to say that it's an all-new model? Look, I don't think it's true to say that it is an all-new model, but it's also equally not true to say that it's a facelift. It's actually somewhere in between and closer to an all-new model than to a facelift, because they've done a lot of work to this vehicle. I think around 80% of the body components are all new, and certainly the exterior sheet metal is totally new. And as you mentioned before, of course, people get in cabs. If they don't own a Falcon themselves, they tend to ride in one every time they get in a taxi. Is this the sort of car that's going to appeal to big industry like the taxi industry? Yeah, look, I think so. It's got all the traditional strengths of the Australian Falcon. It's a big, broad-shouldered, roomy, powerful car, so none of that has changed. But I think Ford has done a lot of work to make it, to give it more appeal to private buyers, because, of course, it's in private buyers where the real profit margins for car companies come. Fleet sales tend to be high volume, but not necessarily high profits. And Ford has restructured the model lineup, and a couple of familiar names are gone. People will have equate the names Futura and Fairmont with Falcon for many, many years. Those names are now gone, and there's a whole new string of models which will take Ford into a new, more premium bracket. Now, Falcon sales over the past 12 months have been fairly ordinary, so I guess this new model is going to be pretty vital for the Ford company. Look, there's absolutely no question that this new Falcon's a vital car. We've all seen recently the bad news of Mitsubishi closing its manufacturing operation in Adelaide. Now, clearly Ford is in nowhere near the dire straits that Mitsubishi was in. Even though Falcon sales have been soft, they're substantially better than what Mitsubishi was doing with the 380. But, the large car sector has shrunk in Australia. People aren't buying as many of these types of cars as they once were. And Ford doesn't have an export market in place at the moment for the Falcon, so it really does need to fire, and it needs to stem some of the losses that Ford's been accruing in terms of sales. It needs to turn that around and get off to a good start when it goes on sale in the next couple of months. And of course, with the stronger Australian dollar, it's made imports a lot cheaper. Is this Falcon going to compete with anything that's comparable that is imported? Well, no. The major competitors for the Falcon, of course, are the locally built Commodore as well as the locally built Toyota Orion. But, of course, we also have Honda's about to launch a new Accord V6, which is a large, I guess it's pretty close to being a Falcon-sized car, and that could potentially be a competitor. And, of course, Mazda's got the Mazda 6. So there are cars that are not quite as large as the locally built cars that people probably are considering these days when they're looking to a large or mid to large sedan. All right, Jed, thanks very much indeed for your thoughts on the new Falcon. Thank you very much.